Please begin.
A very good evening to everyone present here. I am Simran Jagatyo, the coordinator at Law Internships and moderator for today's interactive session organized by Law Internships. We have amongst us Advocate Sophia Bhamri ma'am. Ma'am has a specialization in DRT, IPR, matrimonial and criminal cases. Ma'am is a third generation lawyer and has 8 years experience in litigation. She is the amicus curiae with NCDRC. She is also a legal aid counsel with DSLSA West. She is companioned counsel for Kyanotic Private Limited also. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Simran. Thank you so much. I think we should begin now. Um, so very good evening to all of you present here. Thank you so much for taking out your time. See, I will not go into the complete academic aspect of what exactly legal research is. I think we all know to some extent types of legal research, doctrinal, empirical. I don't want to go into all that. I just want to tell you what exactly, how to go about it in a very practical way. Problem with our colleges, problem with our education system is they are not telling, counseling, mentoring law students as to what is actually required in the legal field. So, what I'm going to tell you is first part is pertaining to your life as a law student, how you're supposed to do research. Okay, how can you make a big impact on anyone who reads your research paper, article, or commentary. And second part is going to be as to how to be an efficient researcher when you are stepping into the profession, right? So the bubble of 5 years or 3 years is going to burst very soon. It's not going to be forever with us. That question is not going to be forever with us. So let's begin. So people, while we are writing something, okay, we want to write something, be it an article, be it a commentary, be it a research paper, which we want to uh, present in some seminar, or simply a blog also. We wish to write something. Now, how to go about it? I mean, how to think, or how to frame your mindset in such a way that it's um, beneficial to you, right? Something which you write must be beneficial to you as well. It should have some innovative ideas. It should not be outdated. So the very first thing which you must keep in mind is that what is the topic about which you're going to write. Now, I have seen students writing on outdated topics such as double jeopardy. Then there is bail is the rule, jail is exception. All right. Okay, marital rape is also being talked about a lot. Many, I mean, several of them will churn out articles and commentaries on marital rape. So somehow it does not make you unique in this sense. Now, I do understand many of you might be in your first years, right? In your first semester. So you say, ma'am, but we know only this. How can we just, take a leap and go to some other topic or go to some other law which we never even know that it existed? So that's where your research comes into picture. That's where your Google browser is. So get your thinking caps on. Some of the topics or some of the areas of law which are still unexplored by Indian law students, uh, I'll be telling you. Please, if you have a notebook or a page, do note down. It will be beneficial for you when you are stepping out in your legal profession also, because there is a demand of legal professionals in these areas too. So one of it is legal metrology, another one is pharma laws, then other things, sports law, aviation law, maritime law, right? IPR is ever booming because of pharma companies. So IPR is always booming. Then you have real estate, then you have media laws, then you have telecom regulatory laws. So try to write on these aspects of law, okay, the practical aspects. See, one thing is that you are writing a totally academic piece that is pertaining to constitution, okay, but in the long run, I don't think so. It makes a big impact, except if you are going to be an academician. No, some of you want to be professors, lecturers, so that's a complete story altogether. But for those who wish to be practicing lawyers, or who wish to be in-house counsels, who wish to be director legal affairs, who wish to be retainers, who wish to be corporate in-house counsels, then people, you have to step up. Knowledge of constitution, torts, jurisprudence is not going to get you anywhere in practical field. That's my observation. It's not as if you are writing something on these topics and it's not going to fetch you something. It's going to fetch you something if you're going to into academics. But profession wise, hardcore legal profession demands something else. Okay. So please do keep in mind. Start training your mind in such a way that it sees the practical aspect of the profession. Okay. Let's just come out of the books. Let's not just remain into the books. They are not going to help you a lot. Right now, they are helping you to pass exams. That's it. That's their only purpose, according to me. We have seen how things work. So, now the second point to which I want to come is that now how a title should look of our any written piece, right? How a title should look. And one more thing, people keep in mind, if you're choosing some topic or any area of law, keep in mind that it has at least a substantial content to be written. It should not happen that you have chosen such a topic or such a title or such a area of law which has no written material on it, right? You cannot even find it anywhere on internet. And if it's a foreign specific law, then it has, obviously it will have material pertaining to foreign countries, right? Foreign academicians or foreign professionals must have written something on it, but Indians uh, may or may not have. So keep in mind, whatever you're writing, at least you should have some content, no? Because on content, you are building more content. That's what I believe. It's never going to happen that obviously you are going to write something very new. It can happen if you are writing a commentary, but otherwise, it's quite a difficult proposition. I hope you understand, because of the minimum word limit too. So how are you going to fill the words also? So please do keep in mind. And one more thing is that make a overview skeleton. Make a skeleton of your journey of research as to how you're going about it. Like, I know in research papers you are supposed to submit an abstract, but how many of us actually do extensive research for 1 or 2 months while writing an abstract? I know it. Hardly anyone. But that's not the way an abstract is supposed to be written. Abstract is written when you actually know which sources you are referring to, what exactly you are going to write, what is the chronology, how are you explaining the facts, or your hypothesis, or your idea, or your proposition, or your suggestions, how you're doing it, right? So that's why they ask you to submit abstracts in the beginning, because they want to know the complete idea what exactly you have in mind. So do that. And at least a serious researcher or serious academic legal research, while writing a written piece, it will take you around 20 to 25 days, not less than that. These days we have many websites which we take help of, so we easily cut copy paste. Don't do that. Why? uh, Plagiarism is very secondary. The primary thing is it's going to hit your credibility in the long run. See, you may escape the plagiarism checkers and those softwares. But what about your credibility? I mean, when in future someone asks you or someone reads your thing or written piece, how are they going to feel? Then the problem is we are not you are not able to remove that content also, obviously, because it has been posted on some website now. Why will they remove? So do keep in mind that you have to maintain your credibility also. So always think for the long run, not for the short term goals. That right now I'm going to do this, okay, I'll get a certificate, very good, I'll get another certificate, oh, very very good. No, you have to build your credibility. Start working on building your credibility. And how you do it? There's only one way: make your work original as much as possible. For the beginners who haven't written any legal research papers, obviously, while we are in first year or first semester, we don't have that much exposure. It's okay, it's all right. It's not a crime not to have some exposure or experience. Then how you begin? Start writing blogs, start writing small articles, okay? Because see, obviously your first written piece won't be as perfect. It will have grammatical errors also, right? It will have sentence which are being framed, maybe they may be framed in an incorrect way, they may be incoherent, they may be repetitive. It's okay, but we need to try, no? We need to try. But do it yourself. Don't just copy the sentences, don't just copy the paragraphs, because, as I said, it's going to hamper your credibility in the long run. Now, moving on further, I have seen this thing in law students. Even we publish the articles of our interns on our website. The title is something else, the content is something else. There is no correlation between the title and the content or the main body. So, why is so? Or sometimes what happens is the title is so much simple. I mean, there are only two words in the title. So, it's not self explanatory or it's not indicative as to what you want to tell the reader, what you want to convey to the reader. So don't do that. Please spend a substantial time on framing the title also. Because see, on the very first impression, the title is going to convey what are you writing. So if your title is messed up or is not self-explanatory or is very small or only has two words, very generic two words. Like, I'll just give you an example. Suppose we are writing upon marital rape. So we are writing marital rape. That's it. Two words. Or marital rape in India. No, not a good title, according to me. I won't, I would not like to read such a written piece. Let me tell you, as a professional, even as a academician also, I won't like to read because it does not convey something else. I've already read so many pieces on marital rape. Why should I read your article or your commentary? What is so special about it? Or why should I publish it? Right? Because they can be a generic topic, but there can be some aspects which are still unexplored. So start exploring them instead of giving a very basic idea as to what you're doing. Don't just write for the sake of writing. Write as if you're building your credibility. Then you see, we get queries as to our work is not being published, we get rejected. Why is it? Why is it so? And I keep on telling them, you're not exploring the unexplored areas yet. People want to read something new, right? Even law journals, universities which are publishing your matter, they want something new, right? They want something fresh. Really don't like to read outdated stuff which we already know for the past 10 years. We know, right, what is happening. So we want something new, something unexplored. So do keep this in mind. It will make your writing more impressive, more impactful. So Obviously, research these days is very easy. You have internet, you have XYZ resources, you have so many websites now, those legal blog websites. But one more thing to keep in mind is, people, check the credibility of the articles which are being published there. Okay, because I have seen students cut copying paste. Okay, they are using cut copy paste method, and then their articles are getting published without any peer review or any review. So what happens is that from that source, if you are taking the information, so it may not be authentic. I mean, the authenticity of the information which is there on the website is questionable. So once again, if you're going to use that information, so you're going to lose your credibility in return. So do check it. Whenever, now I do understand we do not have access to law libraries as our colleges and law schools and universities are closed. Okay, I do understand. Do make use of such websites which are credible, which have published research papers, okay, which are just not blog websites. Don't refer to blogs. They are much more or less cut copy paste. I have seen it. So don't refer to them until unless you are very sure of the authenticity of the information. Because at the end, who is going to be the loser? You, not them. You are the one who used the information given on their website, right? So do keep in mind while researching or while preparing any written piece or any article or so. Now, people, one more thing is, we get queries. Our English is not good. It's okay. हमारी नहीं होती है, वी आर इंडियंस, कोई इसमें शर्म की बात नहीं है कि हमारी इंग्लिश इतनी अच्छी नहीं होती है, बहुतों की नहीं होती, मेरी भी नहीं है, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इसमें. बट देन व्हाट वी हैव टू डू इज, we have to improve the sentence formation, right? You can make use of Grammarly. Please check out Grammarly. It's a software, which completes your sentences while you're writing or inserts words. Just refer to it. Don't use it on daily basis, lest you forget the basic minimum English also. Don't do that. Okay, just for getting an idea. Uh, Now, people who have grammatical issues, just refer to Ren and Martin. I hope you all have Ren and Martin. I have 2 copies of them. We were taught in school when we were in ninth standard. किसी ना किसी स्कूल की तो होगी आपकी, आपके पास होगी ही होगी. I'm damn sure. I have 2 copies. So do refer to it. There is no shame, going back to the school. There is no shame in referring those books. If you really want to do something, you really want to have impeccable Oxford like English, why not? Right? So don't feel like as if, what is she saying? She's telling us to go back to school and reading those grammar books again. No, I don't feel any shame. I still make mistakes in my commas and semicolons. So it's okay. We all are learning at some point or another. We all are learners in life. So leave this notion that we can't go back to school. We can't refer to those grammar books again. Refer to thesaurus. I hope you have it. We have it. Thesaurus is a compilation of antonyms and synonyms, and it's better than Google. When you Google the synonyms of antonyms, they don't give you the complete list, but this book has the complete list. So do refer to it. All right. I know the generation is such that at click of one finger, we are just inserting our questions and the Google is answering. But try doing more. It's not enough, because this everybody is doing. No, so what's so special about you? What's so unique about you? So make yourself unique. Don't do something which already half of the population is doing, right? So how do you stand out? This way you will stand out. These are the basic things which you need to keep in mind. Now, people, another thing is, while we are writing any research paper, Well, in a research paper, a lot of things go, right? Like a hypothesis, there needs to be a hypothesis. Then proposition also some research papers have. Then what is the method of research? This everybody knows. Very monotonous, empirical, doctrinal, we do surveys, etc., etc. This you all know. I don't want to harp on it. Now, one more thing is, while we are writing a research paper, well, it's okay to insert tables, pictograms, pictorial representations, charts. It's not that much preferable to insert pictures, etc., in an article. It does not look good. Chart, a pictogram, you know, uh, you can write about the survey in a paragraph, but do not make it very, you know, demonstrative unless until it is allowed, by the guidelines of the particular publishing website or a publisher. Don't do it else. It does not give a good impression. It does not look good also. Visually, it looks very horrible. Ask us. So, well, now, what to do is that another question is the style of citation which we are using in an article or in a commentary. Citation as to, is it going to be bibliography, is it going to be endnotes, is it going to be footnotes, or is it going to be reference? Do adhere to the guidelines strictly. Wherever you want your thing to get published, do refer to those guidelines very, very strictly. I see people don't adhere to the guidelines. It's written, submit in Word. They'll make a PDF and submit. I don't know why you people make a PDF and submit. Until unless it is not asked, don't make a PDF of your file. Obviously, it is going to get rejected. What's the point? You did hard work also. You had put in a lot of effort, and then see, not published. Some people have this issue. They tell, our research papers do not get published in law journals. What do we do? No worries, it's okay. Get them published somewhere else. Don't let them sit idle. Don't let them go to waste. It's perfectly all right. It's not as if everybody who's writing their written pieces are getting published, at the very first go in legal research papers, in law journals of universities, um, in SSRN, right? That's a research portal where you get yourself registered. You'll get a profile also, and then everything which is published by you, the title is available there, and the abstract too. So don't feel in this way, but you have to take a step, right? Initial step has to be taken by you. It's not as if you'll just sit and wait for some miracle to happen. Don't do it. It's not going to happen. And now I think that because law schools are closed, online classes are taking place, you have ample of opportunity and time. This is the best time to invest your energy in writing legal stuff. Believe me, in this time, platforms on internet have just boomed, meaning thereby there is no dearth of opportunity now. If you ask me 10 years ago, we had no such opportunity. We had no such information as to call for papers. When is the, they are asking for publication. पता ही नहीं होता था हमको. But this is the best time for you, and it's upon you to how to invest your time. So get your thinking caps on, people. Don't waste your time if you want to be something in this profession. This profession is only for those people who are active, consistently active. I'll tell you, if you'll sit idle for 1 month, no, you'll do nothing. You will lose track of everything. You'll start losing. Now, I don't know as a law student what's happening, but as a professional, I know what will happen to me. So, it is for only those who are constantly on their toes. Let me tell you. Only then you will be successful. There is no other way of success. No shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in life. Well, having said much about life, now, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, I apologize. I suppose I just lost track. Oh well. Now, people, there are some websites from where you can, gather an idea of judgments or case laws which are free. Uh, what I use is I'm going to tell. There is Indian Kanun. Not many of you use Indian Kanun. Law schools have this SSC online. They give you the keys also, right? The passwords to use that. I hope you know how to operate SSC online, the relevant judgment, the current judgment, right? I hope you know. If you don't, do check it out yourself. Learn it yourself. I don't know how will you, but you have to. And this is a time of self learning also. कुछ भी बहुत आसानी से हम सीख सकते हैं, कोई मुश्किल नहीं रहा अब कि हमें ये आएगा नहीं, हमें ये पता नहीं चलेगा. So what is the best thing about Indian Kanun is that well, it's free. You can download the judgments as many as you can. Then there is this website, Supreme Court website, the official government website of the Supreme Court itself. There are judgments on that. Please go through them. supremecourt.nic.in. The name goes like this. Okay, note it down. Go through it. Then your respective high court websites. Like we are in Delhi, we are situated in Delhi, based in Delhi. So we have Delhi High Court website, whereby we can, very easily research for the orders and judgments. And it's not necessary that you're going for the landmark judgments also. There are some orders also which have made a very big impact. So you can go through that also. Now, one more thing is, people, while you're quoting cases, please, it is my humble suggestion. See, while you're writing academically, it's okay to quote Privy Council cases, but after stepping out into legal profession, please leave it alone. प्लीज दूर छोड़ दीजिए. प्रीवी काउंसिल काम नहीं आएगा आपको. आपको 1950s 1960s की जजमेंट भी काम नहीं आएंगी. यू हैव टू फाइंड रेलिवेंट जजमेंट्स which are current, at least which are post 1990s. Focus on finding current case laws. This should be your approach. This should be your mental frame actually. If you are finding some case law judgment, begin from the current, then go backwards. But never begin from, Privy Council. I mean, I know many people do this. But what happens is that in law school, if you are adopting this approach, you will be in habit of adopting this approach every time then. So what is going to happen? Your senior or your legal manager is going to tell you, अच्छा वो जजमेंट मिल गई तुमको, पता चला. अब तुम कहोगे, आप कहोगे, सर अभी ना वो प्रिवी काउंसिल की तो मिल गई है, आगे हम अभी कर रहे हैं. My God, what a shock will that be to him or to the organization. It will be a question on your credibility. They'll know that you never did something practical, or you never, you don't even know what is required in legal profession out of you. See, nobody listens to anyone that you are a fresher or XYZ excuses. Nobody will listen, because the skill set which you have, already 1 lakh law students are having the same skill set. What is so special about you? Why will, even if you are hired, why will we will retain you in long run? You have to prove yourself. So stop being like others. Stop, start exploring. Start doing stuff which is actually valuable in legal profession. Academics is one side. I do understand. Academics is okay, but for how long? I mean, I'm damn sure not all of you are going to be teachers or professors, right? ऐसा तो होगा नहीं ना. आज हम लीगल रिसर्च के वेबिनार में आए या वर्कशॉप में आए, ट्रेनिंग में आए, अब हमने सबने प्रोफेसर ही बनना है आज के बाद, तो ऑब्वियसली दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन. Life has other things for you in store. So how to upgrade your research, how to upgrade yourself in such a way that what you're doing is actually fruitful for you. I mean, not just for the sake of it. I mean, actually it is fruitful for you. Okay. I think the academic part is enough. We have discussed much about the academic part. Now let's move on to the professional part of the research. While you are in your 4th or 5th year and you're interning somewhere, right? Or after internship, obviously you're going to land a pre-placement offer, or you're going to land yourself a juniorship or a retainership in XYZ role. Now, how to research in that particular scenario then? People, please note down, there are some websites. First of all, you should know what these websites do, because as a fresher you're going to be given some basic work. uh, in many law firms, they ask you that, can you just get me the recent order of this and this case which is pending. Now problem arises that the law students don't know the concerned website. Now they will ask their seniors and they will embarrass themselves. It's not your fault, it's the system's fault. But then nobody is going to pull the system up, right? System is not living, system is not organic, it is made of you people. You are going to be caught hold of individually. Try to understand what I'm saying. It's easy to blame the system. The education system is flawed. बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है, कुछ नहीं कराते, जैसा प्रोफेशन में हो रहा है वैसा लॉ स्कूल्स में नहीं हो रहा है. बहुत बुकिश अप्रोच है. बट आप अगर ये कहोगे किसी को तो कोई आपकी सुनेगा थोड़ी. ये भी तो प्रॉब्लम है. तो वी हैव टू कीप द एक्सक्यूजेस असाइड. वी हैव टू अपग्रेड आवरसेल्व्स इन सच अ वे कि हमें ये सब सुनना ना पड़े. ये बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें होती हैं which don't look good. Okay, they don't even look good. And the very first impression for you as a fresher will be, he or she does not know anything. Okay, so while going to onto the website, please note them down. They may help you. That is my notion. They helped me a lot. E-code services, people please, e-code services, whereby you can research or find any orders, case number, state-wise. E-code services, download in your phone. This application is downloadable. Then in Delhi we have Delhi High Court application for High Court cases. For those who are not in Delhi, they may be having applications pertaining to their respective states. Download them. No, why are you not exploring? I don't understand. Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, someone wrote I'm not audible. Okay, so download that. Start doing it from today only. Don't leave it to tomorrow. कल देख लेना हो गया. अभी तो अब आज सुन लिया, बस इतना इनफ है. See people, this profession is very competitive. There are no roses here. If you are not tough, you are not going to survive. You're going to be excluded after a year or two. I haven't told the names yet, dear. I'm yet to tell the names. So make your mind strong, tough, but yes, don't keep any toxicity in your mind. It's going to destroy you at the end. But it is for tough people. It does not discriminate between man and women. धक्का खाना है तो सबको इक्वल खाना पड़ेगा आपको. और अब तो ऐसा हो गया है, अब तो it's not as if you're a third generation lawyer, it's very easy. No, it's as difficult as for a first generation lawyer, because due to registrations which are taking in bar council, right? I mean, every third person is becoming a lawyer. People try uh, appreciating, try appraising the statistics which is in front of you. How are you going to beat the competition, girls and boys alike? And yes, obviously it's very clear that it's patriarchal setup which is there in the courts, even in companies also. Most of the lawyers will be male. So how do you cope up as a woman? There is an extra challenge to it. Make yourself tough. That's all I want to say. Okay. So the names of website are e-court services. Then their particular high courts will have their own websites. So do have a look. If you are in Bombay, type Bombay High Court. We are in Delhi, Delhi High Court. Application we have in the phone, it is downloadable. In that you can find the case number, the order, uh, the date of order, the FIR number, the concerned police station. People try to evolve your minds in a practical way. Believe me, whatever you are being taught, it's not as if we were not taught the things which you are being taught. हमें भी वो सेम 5 साल खराब होया हमारे भी, or we cannot do anything, right? So we can't fight the system as such, but we have to make ourselves so capable so that we will be absorbed in the profession. And don't waste any more time, because we don't know when the colleges or when the online thing is going to end. By that time you're going to be graduating, and then it's very frustrating not to know what to do actually. Keep on doing something or the other. I mean, law internships have organized such a wonderful workshop today, and even we keep on writing. It's not as if we don't write as professionals. Well, the other websites are your municipal corporation website. Now Mumbai has Brihan's Mumbai Corporation, okay, BMC, if I'm not right. So we don't have it. We have MCD, Municipal Corporation of Delhi. You will be having a different site. So different states have different websites. Please do check them out. Why? Because your seniors are going to tell you, they're going to give you simple tasks in beginning, right? It's not going to happen that they are going to give you a PIL2 draft on the very first day. It does not happen that way, people. Let's just come out of our suits and other XYZ stuff which we watch on Netflix. Things don't work like that actually. You first have to prove yourself wherever you are. You have to prove your capability. Then they'll start giving you more serious work. So on MCD, they have birth certificates, death certificates, and so on, so on. Please see what these government sites actually do for registration. Then there is property registration, right? So in Delhi, we have Government of NCT of Delhi website. In other states, they may be called by XYZ names. It's upon you to search. Very simple. Once again, so simple. I mean, आप ये काम सीख जाओगे ना, I mean आपको internship करने की जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ेगी 1-2 महीने. This is my guarantee. But what law students do, they won't do the basic stuff, and they'll try to leap or jump to the high stuff. How is it possible? It's the counting goes from 1 to 10. It's never 10 to 100. Even not for us, for established professionals, it's not that easy for us also. Okay. Another one is RERA. We have Delhi RERA. In Uttar Pradesh, it is UP RERA. Please see in Maharashtra what it is. Is RERA applicable or not? It is for real estate, basically. So you'll have a rough idea about what real estate law is, how to get your property registered, XYZ stuff is there. Go through it, because these tools are for professionals now. These you are going to use when you are a lawyer. It's better to know them beforehand. Why to waste 2-3 years to know these tools if you are being told right now, right? Okay, so one is NCDRC, National Consumer Redressal Dispute Forum. They have their own website, listing of cases. Then NGT, DRT, Debt Recovery Tribunal. NGT has benches in Calcutta, XYZ states. DRT also has benches in Lucknow, Calcutta, XYZ states. So please, people, at least start, researching about them, or start going into them. What are they? Then CAT, Central Administrative Tribunal. They also have benches. CAT is situated in Delhi. All these are situated in Delhi. These are head offices. Their benches are situated in outside states. Competition Commission of India is there. Now, one more thing, people. People who really wish to pursue research as a profession, they want to go into academics. Obviously, LLM is compulsory, you all know. Without LLM, you won't be even given a position of consultant. NGT, Competition Commission of India, NCDRC, they come up with vacancies for legal researchers. They prefer those people who have LLMs. As simple as that. If you don't have a LLM, they will not prefer you. Then Supreme Court law clerkship exam is there. I hope you are all aware of it. Every year they come up with vacancies. They pay you very good amount. It's about 65,000 now. Earlier it was 55,000 per month. Now it is 65,000 per month. So start writing your stuff. You know why? Because I have been to the board of interview there. So I was asked, what are my publications? So if you have a lot of publications, no, it does not matter that 10 of them are blogs or articles. It's okay. But it should be a mixture. Some of them should be in law journals. Some of them, should be somewhere else. A mixture looks good. Let me tell you, it makes your profile more diverse. So never think as if XYZ paper of yours was not published, so you were not able to do more. Don't do it. Don't think like that in that manner. Keep on doing it because it's a very good post. It is extendable by 1 year also. I mean, 2-3 years you can easily pass out there. You will make a lot of great connections. Obviously, you will be sitting beneath the honorable judges, so you will going to make connections in high places. That's good for the profession, right? Then high courts, respective high courts come out with vacancies. In Delhi, we do not come out with official vacancies as such. In Delhi, the procedure is different for a law clerk or a law researcher. For those who are in Delhi people, I'm just giving a 2-minute overview. You need to go to the administrative branch in Delhi High Court. You have to submit your CVs with a cover letter addressed to the particular justice with his or her correct name. Please people, write the cover letter in a correct manner. यहाँ पे आप अभी इंटर्नशिप में चलेगा, भामरी गलत लिख दिया, सोफिया गलत लिख दिया, चल जाएगा. चलता तो यहाँ भी नहीं, रिजेक्ट ही होती हैं वो एप्लीकेशंस भी, बट डोंट डू इट देयर. So you need to submit, all 30 or 33 CVs with cover letters there in the admin branch. So whenever they come up with the vacancies, no, they are going to contact you through email and they're going to call you also for interview. So it is also a best place for a researcher or someone who really wishes to pursue academia as a profession. Right? It's very good for exposure. Now see, now this is where the other aspect of research comes into picture. Now you are sitting with a Supreme Court judge, you are their law researcher, or you are with a High Court judge. Now you can't say no, that I don't know e-court services, I don't know how to find a order, I don't know how to find a judgment. Nothing doing. So that's why I gave you this list of websites to go through. Because in future, if some of you will be interested or you will be able to, get a position over there, it's not going to be a big shock for you. And nobody tells, obviously competition is so high, so nobody, right, your colleagues may or may not hesitate to tell you. So it's better now you know yourself. So people, having said all this, let me tell you, there is no dearth of opportunities for law students out there who wish to pursue, career in research or in academics or otherwise also. There is no dearth. Problem comes that we are not exposed to the practical side of our profession. This is the problem which you all face, which we faced, and because of it, it takes us 3-4 years more after doing a 5-year law course to actually understand what is going on and what is required out of my job description or my job profile. So it's not your fault completely, but please use internet for these purposes also. Try doing extraordinary things. Don't do things just for the sake of doing things or just for the sake of writing something. Don't do it that way. Okay, and one more thing. Okay, because I have seen once we received an article for publication on our website, the whole thing was in capital letters. Let me just tell you, the whole thing was in capital letters. Now it looked so horrible and so unimpressive and so ugly. Obviously, it's going to be rejected. Don't do that. It's okay if you don't know. Please ask for reviews from your colleagues, from your seniors, from your friends. Friends are not for talking, okay? They're just not for talking in Clubhouse. They are for taking review also. They are there to correct you or give their inputs also. So make use of all the resources, all the people who are around you in a positive manner. I think we should take the questions if anyone has questions. Simran?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, if someone has questions, let's take the questions. I think this is enough. I just wanted to give the overview. I never go into the academic part because I know. I mean, academic even you can do, right? You also have legal research as topic in your law schools. How boring it is, doctrinal, empirical, and how I mean, it will sound so irrelevant coming from me as a legal professional. Things which are to be, they are actually taught to you. So I just wanted to give you a different overview as to how to make your writing more impressive, right? Make it more impressive. And by impressive, I don't mean flowery English words or Oxford like English. No. But ऐसा भी होना चाहिए एकदम खराब इंग्लिश हो रही है पूरी. No. Do it. No. You have got so much time to practice, so much time to polish. For those who are serious to be in legal profession, for those who are doing it just for the degree, I have nothing else to say. Then okay, let's take questions now.
Ma'am, someone, Akshat Bhatia had a question about to suggest some sites on which we should choose to publish our article.
Okay, very relevant question. Websites which have WordPress written behind them, don't go for them. Why? Because those people have not yet bought the domain of the website. There is no search engine optimization, so it is very difficult to find those websites. So a thing which is published on that website is not going to come in the search result. I hope you understand what I'm saying. People, you all are very well tech savvy these days. You all are starting your own websites, but publication on websites which have WordPress written behind them, that means that domain is not yet being bought. Okay, so the person who has began that website is not serious to continue with that website also. Rest is fine. Rest you can get your stuff published on blogs and elsewhere, right? um, Help how to get SCC and Manu Patra. LinkedIn, use LinkedIn. Type in LinkedIn SCC. I hope you will find people who are working there who actually know. Then obviously, if we can use LinkedIn to express our outrage every time I see outrage. I don't see positivity. So we can use LinkedIn for some positive stuff also this time. We can go into inboxes of people who actually have published their stuff, or for editors. So please make a impressive profile on LinkedIn. Start being active on LinkedIn. It's a professional networking platform. From there you will come to know, right? Because then you will be interacting with the person. Because see, it won't happen this way that there is only one editor in SCC or there is only one authority in Manupatra. No. Multiple teams, multiple people are working. Try doing that. At least you'll have an idea, no, how to approach people, how wonderful that is. It will be a very good exercise for everyone. So do that. Yes. Next question, please.
If anyone has any question, please feel free to ask.
Yes, ask. Even if it's a irrelevant question, does not matter. Make use of this workshop. चुप रहने का फायदा नहीं है. अभी चुप तो बाद में फिर बस I've already told you about the competition. And you've got seniors also to compete with, such as us. Please, come on people, come on. Okay, क्या हो गया? No? Okay, just let them think, Simran. I think they are thinking about it. No worries. ऐसे चुप रहने से नहीं चलेगा. See, these people have made such efforts to arrange a resource person for you. Don't let their effort go to waste. Come on. Where are the questions? Okay. No worries.
Ma'am, what were the methods which you used while you were researching when you were in college?
Okay. Now, Akshat, methods so you already know, like, doctrinal method, empirical method, going for the written stuff, going through bare acts, going through commentaries, going through, bills, etc. It all depends upon the topic. Problem is that. So if you're going to ask for an overview, I'm going to tell you. But if you're going to give me a topic, I'm going to tell you exactly how and where to research. So if it's a topic which is pertaining to very practical aspect of law, such as legal metrology, then there are mining laws also. All right. So not much stuff is available on internet. It's available in libraries, but not in internet. Let me tell you. Okay, one more thing I wanted to add upon here is, I'm sorry, I'll just add upon something very relevant right now. It just clicked in my mind. People who wish to pursue LLM from abroad, and people whose applications are rejected. Why is it happening? Have you ever thought? Please get yourself published in some foreign law journal, and it's very easy. जब आप वहां पढ़ने ही जा रहे हैं तो आप इतना इंडिया का क्यों लेके जा रहे हैं यहाँ से? Be practical. Try thinking like a lawyer now. Once you are enrolled in a law school, ये student नहीं चलता ये. Sorry, nobody will take you as a student. You are already a lawyer. अब आपको lawyer की तरह सोचना है बस. Okay. So get yourself published in foreign law journals. There are very wonderful Canadian law journals, European law journals. Please, it's not necessary, we'll get published in UK and US. Please don't just directly go there. Begin from other countries. It's all right to do it. And one more thing, if you want to research on a foreign law or you want to cite some foreign law, okay, in your Indian legal research paper, the best thing about that is, let's suppose we are citing some English document, some British document. We can actually write to the British Library there, People go and find the Gmail ID. They actually respond to you. They will tell you whether they have the document or not. If you ask them for the PDF, if they have it, they'll give you. They are very responsive. They are not Indians. No, they don't work like India. No response, nothing. ये आदत हमें ही है यहाँ पे किसी को जवाब ना देने की. Their real response, the British Library is going to respond to you. Furthermore, if you want some case law or if you want some position on a law, you can write to the registrar of any foreign court and they will respond to you within a week. We wrote mails to Australian High Court, registrar of Australian High Court. She gave us such a detailed response. हमें तो वहाँ का law ही समझ आ गया. They take your questions very seriously. So if you want to cite, outside India, it's just wonderful. They take you seriously. So you can make use of that. In India, they don't respond to mails, but outside everywhere they will. That's my experience has been very good with other countries. This was something I wanted to, add upon. Yes, Akshat, what were you saying? Yes, in my time, what I did. So it all depends upon the topic. Okay. But yes, obviously going through the law books, going from the base. I mean, first see what the law is, and the basics of law. Where can they be found? In a Bare Act. As simple as that, right? So first read the Bare Act, then go to the judgment part to give you more clarity. Now, if it's something which is not yet a law, then the social background, the historical perspective needs to be dwelled upon, right? वो तो आप कर ही लोगे फिर. वो तो national archives. If someone is in Delhi, people, there is national archives. They let you in if they have a letter from your dean. Okay, then they give you the permission to. They may allow you to visit the vaults also. They have their vaults. They have very fragile documents kept over there जो फट जाते हैं हाथ लगाते ही. अब तो they have scanned those documents. So visit these places. No, right now it's not possible. I don't think so. It's open, but then in Delhi, see, I am based in Delhi. That's why I am telling about Delhi. ILI, the library is good. ISLI is good. National Archives is very good. Supreme Court also has a library. I mean, they have a wonderful library. They will allow you to go. So go. If you get a chance, go visit. Sometimes we have a writer's block. वही खुल जाएगा हमारा. कुछ हमें समझ आ जाएगा. Sometimes, something comes out from above and goes into your brain. It happens. So this is all you have to do actually. It's very simple. So, and it's not as if the legal research is going to end in the college itself. It's going to be continued in the profession, but with a different mindset. तब doctrinal और empirical नहीं होगा. ये तो आपका research में होता है बस. When you write, big theses and dissertations. ये तब होता है. But my goal is not. मेरा गोल ये थोड़ी है कि आप लॉ स्कूल में ही रह जाओ. ये थोड़ी है. बाहर नहीं आना क्या कभी. प्रोफेशनल्स भी तो बनना है. एक्सेप्ट दोज हु वांट टू परस्यू एकेडमिक्स पीपल, उनके लिए यही चलेगा. डॉक्ट्रिनल और एम्पिरिकल ही होगा हमेशा. बट द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द सेक्शन व्हिच इज गोइंग टू कम आउट इनटू द प्रोफेशन, for them it's going to be different. Okay, thank you so much Akshat for asking. Anyone else?
Yeah, ma'am. There's Arundhati. She asked that how do we improve our referencing skills?
अच्छा. Go through the guide which they have already given. So simple. The sample is already given actually. Try implementing it as many times as possible. Practice it. Try practicing it, because see, what I have seen is in India, I mean, every other website or law journal has different sets of, citation styles. हमारी problem ही यही है इंडिया में. एक तो सबसे बड़ी that there is no uniformity. Some will say Blue Book 19th edition. Someone will say this edition. Someone says Oxford. Some people go for the Oxford. Some people say ILI style of citation. So dear, it will change from publisher to publisher, and you have to practice it on your own itself. Try practicing it. But yes, don't just write it in the very first go. Give it some time. Because what these law journals say is, if your citation is wrong or incorrect, we are not going to publish. No matter the content is very original, no matter that it is very unique. Okay, so it may pose a roadblock for you. So be careful in that. Yes, next question, please. Okay, any more questions?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Hello. Yes, please.
I have two questions, if I may ask.
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. Ma'am, being a beginner in legal research or being in initial years of a law school, will it be beneficial for us to take roles like legal content writer or blogger in some law startups or some new or some smaller law firms?
Yes, it is beneficial. Why? Now let me just tell you. Some people say that this pro bono content writership doesn't lead you anywhere, but they don't realize is that even after some time, if you wish to be a practicing lawyer or an in-house counsel, your drafting needs to be very impeccable, right? What is drafting actually? It should have chronology in it, right? It should be devoid of any grammatical mistakes. So you are already writing content for XYZ organization or person or anything else. You will be perfect in that. So yes, it is beneficial. One, for the legal research, as far as you are in the law school or law college. Then for your professional aspect also, it's good, because you'll actually have a command over the keyboard, right? I see 80% of the law students, they are not comfortable with the keyboard. एक की दबाएंगे वो दूसरी दबती चली जाएगी, right? And look at the way it's going to hamper your credibility in long run. कहीं आप बैठे होंगे कहीं law firm में and they will see you doing this. So अभी से करना शुरू हो जाएंगे तो you have some sort of expertise on it. Yes, the second question.
Ma'am, as you mentioned, there are a lot of resources available for us. So how do we scrutinize it? Like, how do we analyze, like, this information is important and this one is not? How do we like put all that stuff together in our
Okay.
research?
My suggestion to you is go for those articles or those written pieces which are written by professionals, written by professors or by lawyers. I will not suggest exactly to read pieces or to cite pieces which are written by law students in their first, second, third year. I hope you understand why. Because they are at the same footing as you, right? I mean, try to understand. I'm not saying that what they're writing is not authentic. I'm not saying that. But you want something more. So it's good to cite a piece written by a professional, by a academician, by a lawyer, by a legal counsel, by a legal director, as compared to something which is written by a student. Yes. Third. So you need to see. First, you'll see the author, his designation. Then the things will be more clear to you. Right. The second steps comes into picture that article or a written piece, how many references does it have? I mean, sometimes a thing will not have any reference, not have any endnote, will hardly have 2 or 3 references. That is not a good article. That is just written for the sake of getting it published. Not a good piece, I must say. Because obviously, not much research has gone into it. Yes. So, what is your third question? Okay. Any more question? You had 4 questions actually. No, you're done. You are on mute, Aishwarya.
Okay. Ma'am, just the last question. Ma'am, many a times when we are going for legal internships, they ask us if we have prior knowledge of legal drafting. So in law school, they don't teach us like proper drafting. It will be just a subject. So ma'am, is it necessary to take trainings or attend workshops of legal drafting?
Once again, problem is the platforms out there. Some of them are genuine, some of them are not. So try going through their modules. If their module actually has, practical exercises, practical drafting exercises, I mean, one module should be dedicated to all of this. Now I know I don't want to take names, but I know that few platforms, they are again churning out the theoretical stuff and issuing certificates by taking money. फायदा क्या है वो तो बुक से पढ़ लो फिर. So what I know is they give you module, right? They give you an overview. What they are going to offer you. So if they have drafts, if they tell you, yes, we have drafts, we have practice exercises, go for it. Go for the practical stuff. Theoretical, nobody asks, nobody bothers. I mean, theory will not fetch you money, right? Try to understand. So the research needs to be done from your end. Don't do anything blindly also, just for the sake of doing it. If something has credibility, if some course or a workshop or a certificate course has credibility, do it. But do it if it is practical, if it is, giving you practical exercises. Because see, I'll just give an example, no? ILI, what it does is it gives a certificate course in IPR. Okay, 3-month long certificate course in IPR. But if you see the modules, no, वो पूरा आपका book होती है. Even if you do PG diploma, do you know what is the module of IPR? Same, total bookish. But does anyone actually care? I mean, IPR has 2 dimensions to it. One, if you're a trademark attorney or a copyright attorney, the registration part of it. Another is the litigation part of it. None of the both is being taught either in the PG diploma, and these both are government institutions. I mean, right? So it's upon you to see. Because at the end of the day, if you do some PG diploma also, and if it's not going to fetch you anything, what's the point of wasting 1 year? So once again, it's upon you, because there are many bogus platforms also, offering courses. But when we see what they're actually offering, nothing. So yes, take views from your friends, ask from LinkedIn. People will offer their views, those who are doing it. You should feel confident after doing it. You know what? I mean, let me give you an example, Aishwarya. If you're doing a course on bail application, okay, let's just take an example on bail. I mean, you should be this much confident कि मैं जब कल कोर्ट में जाऊंगी ना, तो अगर मुझे कोई बोलेगा कि मुझे एंटिसिपेटरी ड्राफ्ट करनी है, मैं ड्राफ्ट कर लूंगी, मैं आर्ग्यू भी कर लूंगी. समझ रहे हो? मैं रेगुलर, अगर मुझे कोई बोलेगा, मैं रेगुलर भी ड्राफ्ट कर लूंगी, मैं आर्ग्यू भी कर लूंगी. This much confidence a course should instill in you. उसको करने के बाद भी अगर आपको लग रहा है ना कि no, my position is dicey, so that means the course was not good. It wasn't being delivered in a good way. Okay. So now I have given you a benchmark. If you are feeling no, I'm not that confident, that means useless. नहीं होगा फिर तो. Simple. Okay. Next question. Then I think we'll wrap up. Aishwarya, you are on mute again.
Ma'am, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm done.
Right.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Like almost the same as Aishwarya's. So basically, when we talk about courses, legal courses like contract drafting or moot court, we have moot court competitions, and most of the times in colleges it is just the competition. So we need some experience. We need some theoretical knowledge such that we'll understand how the process is going. But if we want to opt for these sort of courses, when we browse net to search for the courses, they are way too costlier. But at the end of the day, we look into to gain knowledge. But what do you say regarding like which one should we afford, the one which is very affordable, or should we go with the price, or can you have
See dear, first of all, why would anyone want to go for a moot court competition course? I don't just understand it. I mean, it's not even worth it in legal profession. Because the
but
things which are happening in, see, that's your take. Academics is different, and it is going to end after 5 years. Let me just tell you.
yeah.
Okay. And as far as the price is concerned, I have not compared the modules. I have just seen one prominent website doing it. So I know that I may not be confident. I am not happy. It's upon you at the end of the day then. Then whatever makes you feel comfortable, do it. What
Okay.
can I say then? If you see that, you say that the price is more or less, should we go by the price, then it's totally your discretion. And doing some other course, if you feel that it's going to add up to your skill set, then do it. Obviously they all provide you with the modules, right? Go
Yes.
through the module, and rest is based on internships also. It's not as if you can gain everything in a course. It's for those who are not able to bag a practical internship. And yes, I do understand, because the COVID is going on, offices are not ready to take up interns. But then at end of the day, your discretion is there. जो आपको अच्छा लगे, जो आपको अंदर से लगे कि हाँ ठीक है, ये कर लेते हैं, देखते हैं इसको करके. अब
Yeah.
ऐसा भी देयर इज नो फिक्स्ड रूल आल्सो कि यही करना है, ये नहीं करना है. ऐसा लाइफ डज नॉट वर्क दैट वे.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Got
Okay.
it. Thank you.
So yeah, so whatever makes you feel confident, because I don't recommend doing moot court courses to anyone, but it's your choice then if you're taking it. So because there is life beyond moot court. Actual life does not work on moot court. So if you want to do it, still do it to have some exposure, then do it. Okay, next question, if anyone else. Then Simran, I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Further, I would like to move with vote of thanks. On behalf of Team Law Internships, would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Advocate Sophia Bhamri ma'am for taking out time from her busy schedule and interacting with the young minds. It was truly an enriching session. Thank you again, ma'am, for sharing such wonderful knowledge and experience with us.
Thank you so much, Simran and Law Internships. Have a wonderful evening, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
ma'am.
ma'am, for joining today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be logging out.